Today we're having a little taster of a game, and we're playing Steam Up, A Feast of Dim Sum, courtesy of Guff Studios, who have given us the deluxe edition to play with, and it's a game where we kind of collect tokens to be able to claim the steamers of our choice to get points. One thing that's really great about the game is you have a selection of where you can take steamers from, but then certain actions let you rotate them like that. And suddenly, the steamers you have access to have changed. We are only going to be playing for a little bit, so I'm going to play the full game, but I'm joined by Phil. Phil, thanks for coming.
No worries, thanks.
Now, you've done a PhD in the IT field. Can you start telling me about that while you take your first turn?
I think to take a fortune and rotate.
I think holding the steamers is the easiest way to push it.
So
you can do it either way. So you've got that third, and I've got this third.
Okay, so I have those two.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to rotate that way. And so my PhD was in swarming robotics, which is kind of a subfield of robotics where we kind of take a whole bunch of little robots and we have them all work together to create this emergent behavior that has them achieve something bigger than the individual, kind of like bees and ants or schools of fish, where if you had one really advanced fish, it might not do well, but if you have a whole swarm, it can actually do more than you expect. So I'm going to take a chicken foot and purchase this steamer. So these go back here.
Yeah, which moves the steamer count down. And immediately you get those points. So 2 for the chicken foot and 1. So you'll be 3.
Okay.
Okay. I am going to grab. Okay, I'm going to play a card, gain 1 token of my choice, and I'll grab one of these, which means I can move. So I'll move this. And the second one, I will grab another one of the tokens. And back to you.
All right. I'll take another chicken foot.
So the process of writing your PhD, because I haven't studied at that higher level, I guess we hear about and we sort of, the thesis it takes ages to write forever. What was your experience like?
So I did my. So the PhD is generally a 3-year process. Can be a bit longer, can be a bit shorter. But the first year is really just reading everything related to your topic and seeing where the niche is. And so there's this bubble of the knowledge, and you want to just move it a little bit further out. And your contribution isn't that big, but everyone's moving it out a little bit. So you have to find that niche in the literature. And then for my thesis, it wasn't too bad because I'd been writing papers all through it. And so each chapter was kind of taking those papers and combining them into a big coherent structure. And then at the start of the chapter, you say, this has been published at these places. And so it kind of already suggests this is going to be a reputable thing. So yeah, it still was a fair bit of work, trying to get, this book together. But overall, it's not too bad.
Well, it's your turn. So
So I picked up my chicken foot, and then I'll play this card.
Yep.
To roll the dice.
Okay. Yep.
Is that 6 chicken feet?
It is 6.
Okay, that's a lot of chicken. No, it can't be, right?
Well, it's 6 and chicken feet. I don't actually know what the dice does.
Okay. Maybe it's just a chicken foot.
Yeah. Well, because I think...
gain 1 token of the result.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who knew reading the card, explaining the card? Were you going to move the... Because when you play a fortune card, you can move it.
Yeah. I'll move it back.
Ooh, okay. You've cunningly moved the one I was wanting out. So what I'm going to do is for first action, I'm going to draw a fortune card, and I can then rotate this back.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to gain this steamer. So 2, 4, 6, 8 points. Okay. So obviously it's a long process, but you're publishing work, and I think you made an interesting point there. Is the advancements in various research or PhD is generally not pushing the boundaries of science, but it's incremental advancements.
Yeah.
So the work that you're doing for those sort of research projects is everyone's sort of building off each other and slowly sort of chipping forward. Is that sort of a fair way of sort of talking about it?
Yeah, I think it is. So for a lot of mine, it was a very niche field already. It was like swarm robotics, which is very niche, and then I was going into evolution and reinforcement learning within swarm robotics, which is very niche. And then there was a research group in Holland that was doing a similar thing. And so a lot of mine was kind of looking at them and seeing how I could do it a bit differently to kind of change it up. And so yeah, there's always going to be like everyone's doing their own little thing, and it's producing this big push, which kind of leads back into the whole swarm robotics thing. Yeah.
Synergy there.
Yeah. For my turn, I'm going to pick up a card and rotate.
So I guess having done all that research, you do that, and then you go off to work and you do all that. But have you, the process of doing all that writing and all that research, apart from like obviously the field that you're studying in, is there any sort of things you learned about the process?
Yeah, I think compared to when I started the PhD and when you're writing up something, the spending so long writing these papers where it has to be no more than 7 pages and you have to get all of this content that you've spent months working on into those 7 pages, you really learn to be very effective with your words to get everything out in the fewest words possible. And yeah, I think that's that process of, you don't just do something once and it's done. You have to go over it and over it and over it to try to get it flowing and get it working and get it it's understandable to anyone that can just pick up that paper, and in the field they can pick up that paper and understand the content relatively quickly.
Which I guess is something that you need when you're writing about something highly specialized.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess working in IT and robotics, that's sort of a growth sort of an area of interest like that they're really pushing. Did you feel that when you were studying?
Yeah, there's definitely that like the STEM field is definitely growing, and you can see that the number of people that are going into the IT and engineering is getting quite big, and the things that are coming out of it are quite exciting. And a lot of other things like business, a lot of business people are starting to go towards that.
Phil, thanks very much for playing Steam Up with me and having a chat about your thesis and sort of how each PhD sort of slowly builds us up and increases our knowledge.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No worries.